Welcome back, guys. Today I want to show you another cool Blue Eyes version, a basically OTK version. You're not really OTKing your opponent, but if you can get this combo through, then yeah, your opponent will probably, most likely, nearly 100% not break the board. We are talking about Blue Eyes Buster Blader, a very, very cool combo deck that recently has top to ICS in the TCG, so definitely has proof behind it that it works. I will also show you a deck list later on, and now I will show you the combo with Sage with Eyes of Blue. Don't be confused here, this is only a random discard that you obviously will have in the hand, so it's basically a 1.5 card combo, even though if you have a starting hand of 5 then obviously you always have it. So we are starting here with our Sages with the Eyes of Blue, and you can reach this state that we are reaching right here with different combos, but Sage is obviously the best one. Sage goes into Spirit, searching the Maiden as always. By the way, if you don't know the base combo or what the Blue Eyes cards do in general, then I have a combo guide, or basically an entire explanation for the entire new Blue Eyes cards. If you don't know what these cards are doing, I don't read over them all. We will read about the Buster Blade cards, especially the most important effects, but if you don't know what the Blue Eyes cards do, then in the top right corner there is a video linked for you, go check that out. Then we are adding the Mausoleum of White. Mausoleum of White now sends Blue Eyes to the graveyard, and we are doing this because we want to insulate our place from a Ghost Ogre. We are setting the True Light here, and then Spirit with Eyes of Blue to get back our Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then our Maiden triggers obviously to get our Maiden to the field. Now we can make Spirit Dragon, and now we are safe from Ghost Ogre, and this is quite nice because now we activate our True Light. So if you do not know what I'm talking about, True Light, when it gets destroyed, so for Ghost Ogre by the way, for example, then it would go to the graveyard and mandatory Chain Link 1 would destroy all of our monsters, but we have the Spirit Dragon effect, which once per turn can negate an effect that activates in the graveyard. This is an effect that activates in the graveyard, so we can negate our own True Light if it would be destroyed by Ghost Ogre. Then we set Prayers with Eyes of Blue. Players are going to discard the Sage to add the Roar and our Buster Blader card, the Buster Blader Whelp of Destruction Swordsman. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one Destruction Sword card from your deck to your hand, and the rest is not that relevant here. The relevant part is that this is a level 1 Light Tuner, so we can extra normal summon it with Mausoleum of White. This can also start your combo making a Spirit with Eyes of Blue. So this is super nice about the deck. We basically make it more consistent by having this additional guy that can turn into our Blue Eyes combo. This is basically what is happening with the Primate Engine. The Primate Engine gives the deck 3 new options to go into the Link 1 for Blue Eyes, and this is the same with the Buster Blader Whelp, so this is quite nice, good combination with the deck. We are going to extra normal summon the Buster Blader guy in order to get the trap. The Prologue of Destruction Swordsman, send one Destruction Sword card and one Buster Blader monster from your deck to the graveyard, except this one, and then we can special summon one Buster Dragon from our extra deck or graveyard, but we have to destroy it during the end phase of the next turn. Not that relevant, since we will never really get there. At this point we already won the game. We can also, and this is cool, banish this card from our graveyard, and Destruction Sword cards we control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn. Very important. We'll see this in a moment here. So now we can use our Roar. At this point we are Dragon locked, and now because it's also level 1 tuner, very great, we can go into our second Spirit Dragon. But before we do that, we banish the Prayers to equip the Blue Eyes with the I think it's called Ultimate Blue Eyes Dragon, just to have this targeting and negation effect in the graveyard ready. You don't need to do this, because if you keep this in your extra deck, then you have an easier access on the next turn to a Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. So decide what you want to do here, but this could protect you against, I don't know, an Imperm or something. Then again, you could also dodge an Imperm, so it's not super important. We set the trap, and now we go over to our opponent's turn. In the draw phase, like in the other decks, we are going Blue Eyes Spirit 1 into the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now we have an Omni board negate. Then the second one goes into the Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon tags out into Cosmic Blazer Dragon. Now we have an Omni Summon, Omni Card, and Omni Battle Negate that will return in the end phase. By the way, a quick little thing here. If Cosmic Blazer Dragon returns in the end phase and your opponent activates an effect in the end phase, you can once again use Cosmic Blazer Dragon, and it will once again come back in the end phase. So in theory, you could use this card multiple times per turn and it will still come back. This is such an insane card. If you can survive one turn with this card on the field, the game is basically game over. And now we are protected against basically everything. Normally this is enough to win the game, but we still have the Buster Blader stuff that we are going to go next. So we activate Prologue, sending to the grave our Buster Blader and then Destruction Sword Memories. We will need this to fusion the Buster Blader Fusion guy, the Buster Blader Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. But for now, we are going to summon the Buster Dragon. It says all monsters your opponent controls become dragons. This is what we need this guy for. Then this card goes to the graveyard. Now we can use Destruction Sword Memories. We banish our Buster Blader here and the Whelp. These cards we don't need anymore. For the monster that we have been waiting for, Buster Blader the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, must be fusion summoned, cannot attack directly, gains 1000 attack and defense for each dragon monster your opponent controls, which is nice because all of the ones on the graveyard on the field will be dragons. And then change all dragon monsters your opponent controls to defense position. Also dragon monsters cannot activate their effects. And this guy makes every monster on our opponent's field dragon monsters, and this guy says go to defense and you cannot activate effects. And then we can also activate our graveyard effect of the Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman this turn. As I've already read, our Destruction Sword cards cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect, which protects this guy here. So at this point, we can also activate True Light, resummon Blue Eyes, resummon Maiden, and I would say nearly 100% of the time this duel is over at this point. Our opponent would need multiple board breakers, but we still have this Omni Negate for field for an evening match, for example, and this Omni Negate, and then our opponent's monsters are on lockdown. And should he be able to get through all of this, we still have a lot of very high attack point bodies. This comes back in the end phase. I would say from this point on forward, the game is unwinnable for our opponent. So basically in FTK, let me now show you the decklist that you can take to the ladder and dominate your opponent with. Alright, here's the decklist that I would recommend. We are still playing Sage with Eyes of Blue ×3, then you can play a Jet Dragon and 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons. I've also tried out, and this is something that you could do, -1 Blue Eyes White Dragon and have the Jet Dragon here. This also works. The problem is, if there are a lot of Bestials, then this could be problematic in a grind game. You only have one option to revive a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the banishment, so be a bit careful with this, but this is an option to have one less brick. We need to add some extra bricks in form of the Buster Blader, Destruction Sword Memories and Prologue, so we definitely want less bricks here. We have 3 Maiden of Whites, obviously super strong card, 3 Prayers with Eyes of Blue, this is a no-brainer, then our 1 True Light, 1 Majesty, 1 Saga, then our Field Spell. I like to have a Nip because we have Mulch-Army Fuvolas as well as Maxi, and if we draw into Nip, that's great. I like a little Bestial package here just because you can make a Baron de Fleur with this if you decide to play the Neo Kaiser Seahorse, which you could do. Otherwise, you can't really make the Baron, so if you don't play the Kaiser Seahorse, put out the Baron. Otherwise, put in the Kaiser Seahorse. This is also a great starter. Then again, the Bestials are just strong as they are. They can also search any dragon, so could search you the Buster Whelp, could search you another Bestial, could search you Blue Eyes. So a lot of good targets in this deck. Obviously, Maxi, Ash Blossom, no-brainer. Effect Vader, you should definitely play 2 because sometimes you can search 2 in your first turn with double Sage, which is insane. Then 2 Cold Bright Crossout just to insulate our plays. I like to play like 2 Imperms here because we have some Bestials. The Skill Drain you can play, but because we are playing a heavier going first win option here, and this is kind of a brick, you could also minus this Skill Drain if you wanted to, then consider maybe putting in a few Neo Kaiser Seahorses just to make the number a bit better and lessen the chance of drawing our bricks. Then triple Fuvolos, just insane card, we can pitch it for Prayers. Then we play 2 or 3 Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman here. It depends a bit, this can also start our Blue Eyes combos, but not really, since if we only start with the Buster Whelp, we can only go into the Link 1 and to the Field Spell. This doesn't really accomplish anything. And Neo Kaiser Seahorse, for example, would get us further or farther, but we can also use the Piri Rise map in order to search this guy. Then we would need to normal summon him in order to activate its effect. But Piri Rise map here in this deck is insane, giving us the ability to grab our Sage, which is the best starter as you have just seen. So we basically have 6 Sages here, but this can also search Buster Whelp. Don't search something like the Maiden because you need to normal summon the card in order to activate its effects, and this is not what you want to do really. And then we have the Buster Blader, the Destruction Sword Memories, and the Prologue. So in the extra deck we have Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, 1 Tyrant Dragon to reset our traps, which is insane, 1 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, 1 Seals, very good I think for the end board, then 2 Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Keep in mind, you have to get rid of them on the end field because otherwise you are Dragon locked and you can't summon this guy, which is a warrior. Then we have Super Star Slayer in the grind game, it's insane. Our boss monster, Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon, 2 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragons I think is a good ratio, 1 1 Black Rose Moonlight Dragon that we can also make with the Spirit Dragon if we need to. Then the combo you've just seen, Cosmic Blazer and Crimson Dragon, and then a Baron. If you play the Neo-Color Seahorse, I would play the Baron, otherwise you don't need to, and the Buster Dragon here. So a really strong deck. You need these going second cards like the Fuvoloses, like the Maxies. You need the hand traps in order to stop your opponent, but otherwise this is super strong, and if you can get going first like you've just seen, it's basically unbeatable. Let me know in the comments what you think. What are you playing right now? Do you want to try this version out? What are your thoughts on this? I'm very interested. Also, if you like my videos, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell. This would help me out a lot, and we will see each other in the next one.